Mahia Football Club, Dr. Ambrose Rachier. In this particular interview, he is going public about his membership of the Freemason Society in Kenya. This is NTV. My name is Duncan Haemba. Dr. Ambrose Rachier, what is Freemason?
Well, Freemasonry is a society like many other societies. I think the nearest I would equate it to is the Rotarian society. It is arguably one of the oldest societies in the world, coming from medieval times. Many secret societies existed, particularly in England, but Masonry became much more formalized from around 1640 and got very perfected around 1813. It is an organization, members organization, into which you are invited by private, usually by somebody who knows you very well. But our main objective is charity, if you ask me, is to do charitable activities to help humanity. But in the process also, of course, we ensure that our intellectual faculties are all the time interrogated, and we also just have something that you can call companionship or fellowship, usually by even having dinners and so on. I think that is the best I can say about it.
What is your response to those who say that it is a satanic enterprise or some sort of devil worshipping?
Yes, I think it's all about ignorance. If you get to the Masonic hall, the first thing is what it's a citation from King Solomon to God, that I shall build you an house and you shall establish your throne forever. It is reference to building of a temple of God. Nothing could be further than satanic from that reference. And indeed, Masonry is about building a temple. And that's why we have degrees of builders. I think most of it are talking from the point of view of Christianity. Yet Masonry is not based on any particular religion. We have Muslims in Freemasonry, we have Christians, we have Buddhists, and of course you could also have a few atheists. And so that there is no reference whatsoever to issues of devil worship, whoever the devil is.
Maybe if you could just break it down for us. How does one become a Freemason?
Yes. First is when you get to hear about it, and you are lucky to get in there. I'm saying lucky in the sense that unless you get to know about it from somebody else, you may never be interested in it. And in particular, with these negative attitudes that are being propagated by ignorant people, you will never hear about it. So somebody who is an insider, like I have been there from 1994, I would find it something good, something that you would want to invite a friend of yours. So I might say that, look, Mr. Haemba, I'm looking at you, I think you're a very good man, because it's about good people. You're a good man, you like charity work, you like helping people, and all kind of things. So I will tell you, Mr. Haemba, would you mind my introducing you to this? Then I will give you a little bit of a talk. And after that, I would then propose. I would go to a meeting and propose that I have somebody who I think I should introduce. You are then invited for an interview. We talk to you about a few things. In particular, we are concerned about your family, what your family will think about you because of all these negative things. if there's any objection from, so it will then be announced. It's just like publishing publication for a wedding. So we'll say, okay, anybody with an objection. So it will go on. You'll be there for some time that I'm proposing. It will openly propose, and we give time to anybody who objects. If there's anybody who objects, then you will not come in. And the objection will be somebody who knows you have negative character. So from there, you will, if there is no objection, you will be initiated. You will be brought in and welcomed and shown what it is all about.
Okay.
Right.
You've talked about being initiated. How is one initiated?
Well, we have got our own ceremonies, just like something like, you know, you have a ceremony for a wedding, or we have a cultural function like during circumcision. There are certain rituals that I may not be talking about publicly, but we do have initiations, as you know. Look at a rite of passage, say, for in cultural settings, a wedding, traditional wedding, Christian wedding, all that. So that is how the initiation goes on. This the way it is done when you're being welcomed into Freemasonry.
All right. You've said you joined the Freemason in 1994.
Yes.
How did you join?
Well, a friend of mine, two friends of mine, well, let me say a first friend of mine came and mentioned to me and said, have you heard of Freemasonry? He says, I have heard about it, but I don't know what is inside. So he took me through it, and then eventually said, asked me if I wanted to be proposed, And so he got a friend of his also who knows me, because you have to have two people, somebody proposing, somebody supporting. Then it was, I was then taken through to, interviewed, as I said, accepted, then initiated, and I have since grown to be a very senior officer.
Okay.
Yes.
Public perception is that it entails oath-taking.
No, there is no oath-taking, and there's nothing wrong with oath-taking anyway. First of all, before I even come to that, you see, you are elected a member of parliament. What do? You take an oath. What is wrong with that oath? Nothing. I've seen recently members of parliament swearing. You are appointed to the Court of Appeal. You are sworn in as a judge. You take an oath. You are becoming a magistrate. You are sworn in. Take an oath. You are being admitted to practice medicine. You take an oath. So, I first of all want just to correct that there is nothing, you know, people really try to trivialize things by making innocent actions. You see, if you, for example, go to court and then you don't want to take the Bible, you do your affirmation. That is an oath. So, there is no strange oath that anybody takes in Freemasonry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that you've said, you might not give us in details on how to join, but if I may ask, how many stages do we have, and at what stage are you in? You said you are now a senior member, but how many stages or degrees do we have that one has to undergo in the world of Freemason?
Yeah. The craft masonry is divided into three. You go in as a junior person and enter the apprentice. You become a craft person, then you become a master. So that is those 3 degrees. There are others that go on until the highest degree that you can get into is what we call a 33rd degree in Freemasonry, and that is symbolic. That is the age of Jesus. Good. I am now at 30th degree. So where is the devil there? I ask again, where is the devil?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. But it's different from what I call these ranks. You have to go through those ranks, and then depending on just your seniority and your activity, your performance, there's a lot of work that you have to do there to be able to. So it also requires very clear thinking to be a Freemason if you want to join.
Okay.
You need to have to be a clear thinker, and you have to have interest. But we also welcome those who just want to come and enjoy. There's a lot of enjoyment in it because of the camaraderie that there is.
Okay. Tell me about why it is an only men's affair.
Nowadays there is, I think there is a women's affair in the US. They have started admitting women, so it is no longer a men's affair alone. But I will take you back a bit into history. Just ask yourself, in Catholicism, the fathers, and they're called fathers, they're not even anybody else. For a long time, you've not seen women in there. So it's just part of gender issues that really need to be addressed, and some of them just have their origins in, as I say, medieval practices, medieval times, and you wonder why women were disenfranchised, even in the US until 1964. You see, so these are things that we, as men, we need to address, and I believe, and I'm happy that the Americans have started addressing it so that there can be women Freemasons.
Okay. Why not in Kenya?
Well, it comes from there. I think, see, you get leadership, and I would like somebody to tell me why, for a long time, we haven't had women priests in the Catholic Church, and that is a Christian church. I'm trying to divorce this idea that some devilish men are meeting somewhere to take oaths and do things that are not permissible. And just for your information, in 1995, I think as a result of this protracted debate about devil worship, I think President Moi formed a commission or a task force to come and look into Freemasonry. And I remember them visiting us at the Freemasons Hall. I saw some of my friends in there, lawyers in the commission, and we were able to answer them and give them questions. And I think since then, the whole thing has been demystified. In other words, all that talk about devil worship, we ushered them in and took them round the whole place and asked them to ask us questions. And I think that was a good thing to open it to the world for people to see what Freemasons do and what they stand for.
Okay.
Right.
If I may take you back, you said that joining it is by invitation and somebody has to introduce you.
Yes.
Why so much secrecy?
There's no secrecy. It's a question of trying to make sure that we don't have crooked people joining you. I mean, there must be. Today we have elected. We have appointed ministers. They are vetted. So this is like kind of a vetting of a person. There's no secrecy. It is to vet you to say, are you a suitable person? Sometimes we get people who get disinterested and then they're allowed to leave, actually, when you find it's not the right thing for me to, or the right place to be. But the purpose of getting you is we are trying to build a group of people who are of the same feathers. So we expect you to introduce, if you think you are honorable, we expect you to introduce somebody who is also honorable in society. Yes. It is not a question of class. It's a question of somebody. You could be almost semi-illiterate, yes, and you will come in because we look more at the objective. What kind of person, You are a good person, that's what we want to call ourselves. And two, we embrace charity. I want to emphasize the issue of charity. Do you have views about charity? Do you practice charity? Right.
There's a notion out there that people join the Freemason society ostensibly to acquire wealth and power. What is your comment?
None of those, of those two. We join Freemasonry to propagate charity, and there's a few wealthy people in Freemasonry. Then there are those people who just live ordinary lives, like myself. I'm not a wealthy person, and I'm not a powerful person. In fact, most of the people there are just simple Kenyans. Some of them businessmen, some of them are medical practitioners, some of them are lawyers, and there's no discrimination as to what kind of person you are. What I can say is that there are very few politicians, if I remember. I don't think we have any politician. Some of them are judges of our courts, all kind of things. So it's a mixture, and the common denominator is not wealth. The common denominator is charitable practices. Thank you.
Dr. Rachier, one of the widely held beliefs is that it involves sacrificing of close family members for wealth or power.
Yes, I had all that, but in my over 20, I think 94 to this time is almost 28 years, is it?
Yes.
Yes, from that time up to now, I have never seen a sacrifice. I have not seen anybody who has sacrificed anybody. I understand people are sacrificing their sons or their children. There is nothing like that. And Masonry is universally practiced. That is the amazing thing. As I said, if you go to a lodge in India, they practice just the same thing as we practice in Nairobi. I have visited a lodge in England because we're allowed to visit other places and see what they're doing. I've visited a lodge in London itself, and I just found they're ordinary people, and they talk about charity that we talk about here. Right.
So you've said that you've heard about people sacrificing their sons and all that. Have you lost any member, and have any people attributed maybe because you're that member of the society?
Just ask the question again, please.
I'm saying you've said you've heard about people sacrificing their sons.
Yes.
Have you had any incidents where you've lost a family member and maybe people have thought it's because you are a member of the society?
Luckily, and I want to thank God for this. All my children are alive, and none have lost, no single child. They are known, you know. I've got a son who is 43 years old. He practices law with me in my farm here, and I have other children. I have suffered no death. Actually, in my family, I have only lost my father, my parents, both of them. And last year, courtesy COVID, I lost my brother who was 60 years old. So I don't see, not even the slightest reference to any kind of sacrificing anybody. This is a myth. It does not happen. I can say that it has not happened anywhere that I know myself. Okay. And it does not happen in East Africa. We have branches, and we visit Seychelles for brotherhood. We visit Tanzania. Like this November, we are going to establish a lodge in Tanzania. We visit Uganda, and normally it's a great pleasure to go and also kind of do what we call workings in some of those places. Okay. We go and meet brothers in, like we have a district of East Africa where we have a head, and we do these visits. I've talked to Tanzanians. I've not had anybody being sacrificed in Tanzania or in, yeah. So this is, I think, some loose talk by people. I think I can call them idle minds.